Welcome to the Soul Revival Podcast, where we have deep and meaningful conversations exploring modalities, tools, and healing, guiding you back to your most expansive soul self. Welcome back to another episode of the Soul Revival Podcast. I'm so excited to have my season 3 co-host joining me for this very special episode. We're going to dive into all things related to Hawaiian healing, and this is something I'm super excited to talk about because I know it's something that you post on socials about. I've seen like different ceremonies and different practices that you do, and I am here for it. I am so interested to learn all the things that I don't know, and I'm sure the listeners are as well. So I'm flipping it over to you.
Thanks, Lindsey. I'm stoked to talk about this because it's one of those sectors of healing that I feel is kind of niche. Not a lot of people get to hear this really sacred information. And when I say sacred, there is debate on who gets to talk about it and who gets this information, all of these things. And I just want to preface this by saying that I have always and will always call myself a student of Hawaiian healing. I'm not a kumu, I'm not a teacher. My goodness, like that is a lineage that's beyond my realm. I really just have a lot of reverence and have studied with many different kahuna and kumu on the island of Maui. And every teacher that I have ever had has given us permission to proliferate this in our lives and with our clients and our students, and just make sure that they understand basically these philosophies, just the way that you would use the baseline of Chinese medicine or Tantra or yoga philosophy. And so it's just a lineage. And oh my goodness, wow, do I resonate with this lineage? And I've studied a lot of different things in my life. But the premise of Hawaiian healing, so much of it is, I mean, if you've ever been to Hawaii, you feel it in the air. It's that mana, which in other cultures they call it chi or ki or life force. There's so many names for it. So it's not like it's just in one place, but that's their term for it is mana, the life force energy. But you feel it so rich here in Hawaii. And the reason why they say that it's so potent here is because the islands are believed to be the last remnants of ancient Lemuria. And so there is a belief that Kauai and the island of Maui have the most potent energy on the planet today, of mu energy, if you will. And what that is this lost civilization that was very feminine in nature. It was all about like trust and love and Aloha Ma. I have a tattoo about it, which is the principle of self-reflection, love, self-reflective love. That's what it means. And that is if I am right within myself, if I am pono within myself, that means in right alignment, then I can be in right alignment with nature and with others and with source and spirit. And what that really goes into is the feminine, the masculine, and the androgynous energies within all of us. So I studied this particular practice and this particular way of being really from Ke'oni Hanalei, who is, I just think his work is so profound in the world. And he's such an embodied version, example to me of someone who walks real authenticity. Like if you go to this guy's Instagram, I think it's under Pohala because he has fern medicine too, which is part of a lot of Hawaiian healing, taking ferns as medicine, which we can get into. But he's just so radiant in who he is. And that's what I've found with a lot of this. I don't even know if they would say, he says it, but a lot of these healers, a lot of these people in the community here, it's so grounded, embodied, and the way that you and I have talked about, Lindsey, where it's not just like floaty, it's very rooted. It's very like here in the physical, but also they're talking about like very, 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 very woo-woo concepts, but you can feel them in their bodies. And the balance is a huge part of Hawaiian healing to me, as at least as how I see it. And even with their most sacred plant, which is sandalwood. And if you know much about the sandalwood essential oil, it's opening to the crown and it's opening to the root. And
Yeah.
so that was reserved for the elite, the royalty. because it was about being open to source and connected to earth at the same time is the highest level you can be. So that already just resonates.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know I'm talking so much, but there's
Yeah.
so much to
And I
say.
don't want to disrupt your flow. I just have to say that this all totally tracks for me, knowing absolutely really very little, because having been there before, it does have this like very lean back, like slow, like everything in divine timing type of energy. And I went there long before I'd done any spiritual work at all. But as you're saying these things, it's like, oh, of course, that makes total sense because the vibe isn't like it is here in the continental US where it's like hit the, gas pedal, go 110 miles an hour. It is literally the complete opposite of that. It's like everything in flow, everything like in that feminine energy of when it's meant for you, it will be. When it's not, you can't force it.
100%. It's such a balanced, like you listen within, and that was the exact concept that I was got derailed because I get so excited about all the concepts. But Aloha Ma, the main principle of the Mu lineage, and really what so many people are living here, whether they know it or not, is this being in right alignment with your feminine, being the leader. And that's what I think we have really backwards in our society now is we look at the male as leader. I do partner dancing and the male is the lead. That's great, but really the truth is, and if you look at the subtleties, it's already happening. The woman is the one that allows. The woman says like, yes, you're invited into my field. Yes, you may dance with me. Like, yes. So it starts within her and the divine spark in her, and the masculine responds. So we're actually already doing it in some kind of subliminal, little like biological, maybe flirtatious ways,
Yeah.
but in
Yeah.
the real embodied practice, the feminine is the part of us that's the oracle. It's the part of us that receives the messages. It's the part of us that is like the all knowing. And once we can actually pay attention to how those messages come, what our inner feminine is and how she responds, not like what society or like the new age jargon around feminine is, it's yours. However, you receive her, then you can get your masculine in right alignment to serve her. And so it's really just can you be a soul led person? Can you really listen within before acting and pushing? Can you listen and then serve on behalf of that inner dream and that quantum experience from within, basically? And it's just such a beautiful thing that I haven't heard articulated in any of my other studies quite the way that it was articulated through this training, which was called Aloha Ma, which is through the Mu lineage. So that's a huge piece of it here. And that pono aspect, being in right alignment, I just always feel if we could take that into everyone, and that's the whole thing. It's called self-reflective love because if we can love ourselves and we can love like that is the healing of the society, if we can get into that state with ourselves. So
Thank you for listening to the Soul Revival Podcast. I'm your host, Lindsey Stanton. I want to give you a special offer for all those who leave us a 5-star review. All you have to do is take a screenshot of that 5-star review, email it to info@thesoulrevival.com, and every month we're going to be giving away 30 days of the community membership. 30 days of community membership. That's 30 days of being around like-minded people who are on their spiritual expansion journey. All you have to do is give us a 5-star review, snap a screenshot, and email it to info@thesoulrevival.com. Thank you so much for listening.
yeah, do you know of anything like that? Like I know there's feminine,
No,
masculine.
and I'm thinking about how it tracks with with other elements of spirituality. For example, when you were saying about like tuning in and listening to specifically how you receive your for yourself, like as the feminine, I'm thinking about the clairs and how we tap into our like psychic or mediumship ability, how we're receiving messages from the universe. It all makes sense. Like it's in complete alignment with those things that we know from a spiritual practice perspective. So it's just like to me, it's like another important layer of that.
Agreed so much. And it even goes deeper. And the question that we ask about our feminine is, how am I nourished? And that's one of the main principles. How am I nourished? And during my training, it was just so amazing to hear everyone's niche answers because I think if you're a wellness spiritual girl, like you're going to hear things like, oh, maybe yoga, meditation, like some breath work, and like that's all great. But it was like people getting so into them, like delicious warm soups, like wrestling, like, like whatever the thing may be, that is you, that is yours. How are you nourished? Which really comes back to that authenticity piece because getting to know your feminine is, yeah, it's not the way society at large describes the feminine. It's yours. And so, what a liberating process, at least for me. The other piece of Hawaiian healing, well, pieces, is just so much. But so la'au lapa'au, which is plant medicine, not psychedelic. As far as I know, I might be wrong. There aren't psychedelic components of things here. There's kava, which is like a sedative that people drink. There's also just different teas made with different herbs and leaves and plants and fruits. And that study is just that is really actually what opened the door for me to Hawaiian healing, besides my own personal experiences here on this island. But I just wanted to learn all about that. And it was just so luscious and beautiful the way that my kumu taught us to work with plants. And this is really common for most indigenous. I studied with Chumash Native Americans too. So similar in that you have a conversation with nature, you have a conversation with the plants, you
Yes.
ask for consent.
Yes.
And
That's
oh,
something that I like learned deeply with the animal communication certification that I went into because it's far beyond animals. It's everything in nature, everything with its own energetic footprint. And like now, I don't even cut a rose without telling the rose plant that I'm going to do it first and
yeah.
why I'm doing it. That it's like the pruning for the regrowth.
So beautiful. So beautiful. That's exactly it. Like connecting with it, asking for consent. Like also that still goes back to the learning of your body's yes and no's and honing your intuition, which you do it with yourself, but you do it with nature too. Like you start to develop this really keen understanding of when something is consensual and when it's not for your body and the outside world. That is, again, like what a gift, like what a safe world we're creating when we can speak that subtle language.
Which it goes back to the very beginning about like not having force energy and having that lean back divine feminine energy, which is such a huge, huge difference. I have a question for you on the plant piece. So is each plant or I don't know if it's just plants or herbs as well, but does each of them kind of have its own energetic footprint that then represents like an energy within your body when you consume it?
Totally. So how the ancient Hawaiians would do this, they would find, they basically said like heals like. So if it looks like something in your body, it's most likely going to heal that part
Love
of your
that.
body.
Yeah.
So, and that is so incredible because it's proven to be true across plants in
Yeah.
general. And now
Yeah.
science.
I've read articles about that scientifically.
Yes, science is exactly. And I just love when science catches up to what people
Yes.
knew.
Indigenous people already knew.
They're like, okay, it's about time. But also what's so cool, and I loved this part too, is I remember you know, the student base, this was a different training at this with my kumujina Ivalani Nalawai. She runs this amazing holistic Hawaiian healing spa, basically, here on Maui, which is a wonderful place for anyone who just wants to like
Sounds
tap in.
wonderful.
Yeah, tap in, get a beautiful experience.
Okay, drop the name of the spa for everybody listening.
Yeah, Ho'omana Spa. It's in Makawao in Maui. So you must try this place. It's amazing. I did a fundamental training with them. And one of the things we all like the students were asking was how did the people know though? Like how did they know this wasn't gonna kill you or this wasn't poisonous and this was that? And I remember our Kumu and like her people that she had studied from, they were all there and she was like, they were like looking at us like you ask the plant. It's the best. I remember that like sticking with me for the rest of my life. Like You just asked the plant. So
And they're
it's
thinking like, duh.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, but wow. And so, and I'll even say with myself, it's taken years for me to get to the like energetic sensitivity. And of course, to be honest, I mean, I'm not at the place where I completely trust myself with these things, but you can sense so much more than you would ever even believe, especially just with openness and practice and listening. And the last way, well, not the last way, but one of the other ways that they apply this same kind of work is, if you know, Lomi Lomi massage is a huge part of, so yeah, Lomi Lomi, which is part of the Hawaiian like lineage. Healing is done through massage. And actually, Lomi Lomi was
I
for
can
people.
get behind that.
Yeah, it was so good. And it was done through the bodies. Actually, when people passed, they would massage the body in this very sacred way. They would chant over the body, and then they believed they could release like the spirit and help facilitate that transition. So,
Oh, I
but
love
people do it, yeah, for spiritual purposes, for emotional purposes, for the physical ailments, and of course, all interrelated in their opinion. And it's so much energy work. So from what I understand, at least out of a lot of different forms of massage therapy, Lomi Lomi is deeply, deeply energetic, almost like Reiki, where you first tune into the body and you start to feel without touching the hot spots, the tension, the blockages, and then you use your body to work through. And the whole thing, if you ever get to watch, getting a Lomi Lomi is amazing, but watching somebody give Lomi is so exceptionally beautiful. It's almost like a hula around the body, and nobody gets to see it because you're like drooling into the face, like a face cradle. But it's so stunning the way that they use their body to like move energy through you, through them, with you. And it's so intuitive. So that's just another way that working with the body and using that intuition. So it's literally mind, body, spirit, nature, self, that unity, that oneness. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know another culture that hits the marks the way, at least for me, that I resonate with that so much.
I just have to ask you, have you done past life regressions, and do you know, do you track back to, because I just have like you are so in tune with this that I'm like, this has to lead back to a past life.
I know. So it's weird. I've done a few past life regressions and I've had, yes, like I had one where I saw myself as like this Hawaiian, or like maybe not Hawaiian, maybe Polynesian man. And I was just like building kind of like huts, and I was just like chilling. That's it. There was nothing profound about it at all. But I was like, oh, this makes sense, you know? But it's really interesting how I did get this really strong hit, and this one's a little wild, but I know we're in the right place. I had this moment out of nowhere. It wasn't a past life regression. I was like sitting on my bathroom floor one night a couple of years ago and just got boom, like you this is intense, but your bones are buried in the ground that my childhood home was on.
Wow.
And it
Oh,
was
you've got
sacred.
full body chills.
Yes. And it was sacred burial ground. And the people before us that built the house had excavated the bones. They just moved them all to a pile, which is so, so, so taboo here in Hawaii. Like it's the worst thing. And they do it all over. Unfortunately, they've done it all over the islands. And that's part of the reason that people are up in arms. But when my family bought it and they found that out, we had it blessed by all of these healers, like of any lineage, of any faith. We were just like, bless it, bless it, bless it, bless it. And my relationship with that land was so profound that it is actually what started everything I've ever done in the healing world, in the spiritual realm. It's where it all started for me. And I felt so in trust and in protection of that land. It was a spooky place. Like people would come and feel like the energy was so heavy. And even as a little girl, I was like, no, it's happening for us. Like you just have to listen. Like I just had this really strong sense. And um anyways, it was only like later after my parents had sold that house and I was in my early 20s and I was like, it just hit me out of nowhere. I was like, I think those bones are my bones too.
Wow.
And even
Wow.
if it's not really my bones from a past life, like they are my bones too. And like that's the whole thing with the we are of this land. We
Wonder.
are all one. It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's my kuleana, as we say here, like our responsibility to revere those things.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I have done multiple past life regressions, and I went to an amazing past life regressionist in Chicago. It was virtual because it was during COVID, but he was trained by Dr. Brian Weiss, who is like the
Yes.
leader of, right? And he was so amazing. He just did such an amazing job. And the thing that really I found so profound about past life regression is I had such a visceral body response. I had no idea what it was going to be like, but to me that was like, and I'll dive into this probably in a different episode, but to me that was the beacon of truth. Like I knew I was crying without having any idea why I was crying, like tears just rolling down my face while I was basically like in this deep trance state. And so it was like, okay, I knew everything that I was seeing was 100% truth because my body was confirming that it was.
Wow. Wow. That feeling is so wild
Yeah.
too. Where it's
Yeah.
like it really is out of body and so special to make those connections. Do you feel like there's a lot? Have you had multiple past life
Yeah.
regressions that feel like
Yeah.
they make sense to this one?
Oh, 1000%. Yes. Like things that you're drawn to, things that, places that you want to go, places that you always want to come back to, things that you prefer, it's like, yes, yes, yes. It makes all the sense. And even people that you feel connected to and you don't even know why. And it's like, okay, well, we're my soul family. We've done this rodeo multiple times together. That's why.
Yes, yes. Oh, it's so amazing. And I love again, the cultures and the lineages that will honor that because again, in our society, we're getting more open to things, but it just sounds so like I can't even imagine. But when you're in places like Hawaii where it's just so in and of us, like, yes, of course.
Yeah. Yeah,
Of course,
exactly.
we asked the plant. Of course, you had a past life doing this. Of course, it just feels so effortless that that's embedded and ingrained. And that's also why I'm sure your listeners love this podcast. You're like, oh, what a relief. Like, he gets it.
Exactly. Yeah. So share with us, I think it would be so wonderful for people to hear. I know I always like when I'm listening to something to hear like some specific resources or things that I should look up. So share with us some of your favorite practices, plants, like what do you integrate into your day to day that feel super powerful to you?
Totally. Oh my gosh. Well, you can definitely get the fern medicine I was talking about, which is on pohala.net, POHALA.net. And that is one of my teachers, Keone Hanale's fern medicine line. And it's so beautiful. Basically, there's I always get the number wrong. 103 potentially, maybe wrong on that ferns for the exact amount of emotions that a human has. And so there's literally a fern for each emotion. And he uses this amazing, amazing wisdom for us to actually take home, actually off the islands. He sources them here in Hawaii. And yeah, during our training, we used them and it was really incredible. It's very subtle. It's not psychedelic. It's like you may not even notice it's happening, but things are happening. So that's one way. Another way that I would say you can incorporate it into your life is if you can look up a Lomi Lomi practitioner in your area. Amazing. Obviously, you want to know they're doing it the right way, and the way that you find that out is probably just seeing like where they've trained. If they've come to the islands, there's probably a good chance they did it with somebody great, but that's an incredible journey to go on. And in general, oh gosh, yeah, this is the breath. Duh. How could I forget the number one? The breath. Ha. It's called the ha. And if you hear the word aloha, I think all of us know this. Like it means hello, it means goodbye, it means love. Already, that's beautiful. But if you break it down, alo means presence and ha, breath or spirit of breath. And so we exchange breath. And if you see a whole traditional Hawaiian greeting, it's called a honi, and you press your nose to the person and you take a breath together. And that is just, we have lost the breath So the best thing that you can do, and this is what's believed across all indigenous cultures, really, when you get down to it, is we need to pull breath back into our bodies, into our souls, into our spirit. We think of how much we're breathing, like, and that's actually, this is like the most painful thing ever. But there's a word here for like the people that come from the mainland, basically, or anyone not from Hawaii. And I don't know if you've heard it, but they call them haoles.
No.
Okay. Haole, which haole, like or whatever, the way it's spelled, if you break it down, ha, the breath, and the second part meaning without. So literally without breath or shallow breathers.
Wow.
And that shit hurts. That is like the biggest diss, but it is so true. And
Yeah.
like
Well, and
my
I think about that in relation to anxiety. Sorry to interrupt you, but just like to me, that's like anxious breathing. What you just described is like anxious breathing. And the greeting, wow, that's incredibly beautiful because it's like you're exchanging life force energy.
exactly. Oh, you exactly. You exchange life force and you have this moment of sharing life force. And oh, yeah, we have lost it. And that is what we're coming back to. And it's beautiful to see, of course, like this resurgence, but sometimes we even overcomplicate it. Can you breathe? Can you breathe? And do you breathe? And do you give yourself permission to connect with breath? Because that's it. That's your spirit. That's your life force. So those would be my three takeaways that you can find hopefully where you live. I know your breath you can find
Don't
anywhere.
worry, we're definitely linking this stuff to the show notes. Kama's 100% going to provide the links, and we'll have links in the show notes because I think just even like the pronunciation and knowing what to Google might be a challenge for people. So we got you.
Yeah, totally, totally. Yeah, and just if you take nothing away, like just breathe, breathe deeper, breathe fuller, breathe more slowly, breathe more intentionally because that laces everything.
Oh, thank you for sharing your wisdom. You created so many things I want to deep dive into today. So I really appreciate you sharing your wisdom on this topic.
You're so welcome. Thank you for asking. It's clearly one of my faves.
Yeah. Yeah. Your passion reigns through very, very loud and clear. Well, thank you, Kama, for this very special episode. And we will catch you next week.
Thank you.
If this episode resonated with you, that's not a coincidence. That is spirit leading you to where you are meant to be. Choose soul expansion, choose community, choose growth. Join us at our sacred community where healing is better because we do it together. Go to www.thesoulrevival.com.